What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Star Fox Zero. In recent years, Nintendo has really been trying to go back to its roots, reinventing many of their classics in new ways. After the release of Mario Maker, Pokken Tournament, and Hyrule Warriors, I had a lot of confidence that this would be the Star Fox reboot that would be exactly what the series needed. Unfortunately, this is a game with a lot of grand ideas that are held back by some very poor controls. Gameplay is now heavily focused on the movement of the gamepad. While your ship is steered using the left joystick, where you're aiming is determined by the way you tilt your controller. When you're just flying in a straight line through space, this is a mechanic that can work amazingly well. Swatting enemies out of the air is as simple as moving your hand slightly and pulling a trigger. The problems arise when you enter any of the special vehicle levels. Right here I'm in a walker and I have to explore these tunnels to try and deactivate a shield. Using the left stick I control the direction I'm traveling, the right stick is to steer where I'm facing, and the gamepad determines where I can shoot. If that wasn't cumbersome enough, there are even parts where I have to use jump jets to float from one platform to the next. While I did get used to these extremely clunky controls after a few hours, they still never felt fluid. It always seemed like a roadblock between me and the game. Thankfully, even when I would get frustrated at having been crushed by a boss or having missed a power-up, it just gave me more chances to enjoy the gorgeous new visuals. As you can see, this is one of the best looking Wii U titles yet. Whether it be flying between buildings on Corneria, driving across sandy deserts on long-forgotten planets, or blowing up super nukes in space, the art and graphics are outstanding. Now, I just wish the sound would match this same quality. Here we have perhaps the strangest design choice. While the game's music and sound effects come out of the TV, all speaking dialogue comes out of your gamepad. This is a problem for two reasons. First off, since I'm constantly having to keep my volume turned up so I can hear people, it really cut into my controller's battery life. The other issue is that the gamepad has terrible speakers. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal, but oftentimes they're yelling important information in the middle of a battle and it can be hard to make out what exactly they're saying. At one point, Peppy was demanding that I save him, but from these tiny speakers it sounded like, "Starbucks, glaze me." In an effort to try and make up for some of these bizarre flaws, each level has some major moments that really pull you in. From boosting through a debris field at max speed to earning upgrades to your vehicle, or something as awesome as jumping into a massive boss fight, each time you go through a new area it's quite the experience. One of my favorite parts of the entire game is when I was cruising across this little icy field. I was blasting drones to try and clear the area when suddenly a huge robotic spider crawled over a nearby mountain and came to destroy my team. This was an enemy so daunting that for a few seconds I could only stare in shock and wonder how it could possibly be beaten. Segments like this are where Star Fox Zero shines the most, but it also gets held back by the rather bad levels. For example, there's an actual sneaking stage. Yes, I'm serious. You have to fly in your hovercopter to dodge searchlights, hack computers, and open gates. It's a level that's incredibly slow and quite frankly boring because you're pretty much stuck cruising at low speed waiting to float past guards. Nothing about this even slightly makes a bit of sense, and honestly it feels like it was crammed in here just to make the game feel longer. As it stands, Star Fox Zero can be beaten in about 4 hours. Each playthrough has you trekking from world to world, fighting off Andross and his minions, and while there is a variety of paths on how this can play out, after my first time through the game, everything felt exactly the same. I wanted so badly to love this title, but Nintendo seems to have tried a little too hard to force some bad ideas and ended up creating something that doesn't quite work well overall. Okay, so we've heard some good and some bad, but let's head over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Star Fox Zero on the Wii U a 6.5 out of 10. If you are a super hardcore fan of the series and just want a new entry in this classic franchise, I do recommend this game. However, if you're just looking for some fun, jet-powered action, I suggest that you instead just play Star Fox 64. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Do a barrel roll. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.